Hello, welcome to a new episode of Crafting Crazy. Today I am going to be trying for the very first time resin. I've never ever tried resin before, but it's something I've always wanted to try and I'm so excited to try it, but also I'm incredibly nervous to try it because it's something I've never done before and it's not like something really simple. So I've got four kinds of molds to use. I've got this green cactus ice cube silicone mold. I am going to use this to test out a coloured resin because I've watched a couple of videos on colouring resin and some people use ink and some people say you can use food dye. So I've bought a whole bunch of food dye, very cheap, in Asda, 75p, and I'm gonna attempt it, but just with one. I've got this muffin silicone mold. This is just a square ice cube mold, and this is a mold I got off of eBay. So I've got a variety of shapes and types of mold because I've never done this before, and as I may have mentioned, I don't like following instructions. Well, you know, like I'm not that kind of person. I won't follow a tutorial, not when I can, you know, mess things up completely. It says, right, this is easy to use. It can be used as a varnish and it dries in about 24 hours. I know that you can... I have watched a couple of videos on this stuff. And I know that what you can do is after a couple of hours you can add things. So we're going to try layers. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens here. This was the only resin available in Hobbycraft. This was £22 for this resin kit. So let's see what we get inside. We've got some measuring spoons, which is handy. We've got the resin A, gloves, some instructions, the resin B. Oh, and it does come with a couple of stirrers, but I've already got out some lollipop sticks to use as stirrers. These are the instructions. Where is English? English. This is the Russian, German, Spanish, Italian, English, and there's the French. I mean, I do speak a little French and Spanish and German, so right, so it's 1 part B to 2 parts A. And that's pretty much all we need to know, really, is the 1 to 2 ratio. Right, we better put these gloves on. I say we, it's just me. You're not here with me, you're watching this in a video in the past. This was the past for me, actually. Right, we'll use one for A and one for B. A and B. What was it again? 1 part B to 2 parts A. I better make a note of that. Yeah, 1 to 2. I've got some plastic cups here for mixing. I really like these little bottles. These are really cute. I don't know if these need mixing or not. We'll find out. We'll find out in a second. Let's get these gloves on, because if it comes with gloves, it's probably a good idea to wear them. It says you're supposed to protect your surfaces, but my set is cardboard anyway, so if I mess up, it's not the end of the world. Right, we've plasticked up. Right, so cup, little plastic cup. I've got like bits and bobs out ready for decorating, but this is not actually going to be decorating yet, because we've got, like, it's got to set for a little while before you put stuff in. At least this is what I have read. Right, okay, let's do part B first. No, part A first. Part A. Do part A. Right, it's got one of these stupid child protector cappy things. Right, right, let's do 20 millilitres. Pouring that in there. And then we can do 10 of part B, and that works out with maths. Yeah. I'm basically going to have to wash these as soon as I finish up here. Right, so 10 millilitres of part B. That's much more liquidy. We can always mix more if we need more, but I'd rather under mix than over mix, and not waste material. So you're going to stir this for a little while, and it goes sort of shimmery. I should have picked a clear cup really, but you can see sort of the shimmery. And we're supposed to mix this until it goes clear. Which didn't take very long. This is already clear-ish. There's a lot of air bubbles. I'm sure that there are like resin makers out there who are screaming at me the way to get rid of air bubbles, which I did not look up. But you know, this is a sort of test run anyway. This is just to see how this is, because I've wanted to do this for so long. Right, okay, we're going to pour into the muffin mould first. Right, a layer there, a layer there. Okay. And now that we've done that, do you think we've got enough to fill the cactus? Right, we're going to put in a single, well, I say single, it's probably going to be a couple of drops of the food colouring. Oops. It's going to be green. 1, 2. Should know by now I only ever buy cheap things, so this is very cheap food dye. Mixing in. We won't be able to see the colour because it's in a yellow cup, because I thought that was, you know, a clever thing to do. Look at the colour that's gone. Weird. Really weird. But like I said, this was an experiment. So this was 2 drops of the green food colouring. Okay? And that is going into one of these cacti. Oh, that was good. That's nearly filled that. So when I mix up the next batch, I'll probably just finish that off with just some clear and see what happens. Okay. Great. So we've got 1 circular one done. We've got 3 of these little squares. We've got 1 cactus. I haven't used this big mould because when I was looking at it just here, this seems like it may be awkward trying to remove. So because we're just experimenting, we're going to ignore this one for now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to leave these for 2-3 hours, maybe. Oh no, don't spill. Yeah, like let's say 2 hours to cure a little bit, and then we'll be back and mixing more and adding things. So I will see you in a little while. We're back. It's been about 2 hours. So that's given this stuff a chance to cure a little bit. I've got a little toothpick here, and I'm just lightly tapping the resin, and it's gone very tacky. That's what I was looking for, the tackiness. But the one that I dyed with the green food dye looks orange. I know I'm colourblind. I can see some colours. I'm not that like completely colourblind. So because it's tacky, now what I'm going to do is add some items to a couple of these, and then mix up another batch of resin. So I've got some little beads, little letter beads, and we're going to do, you know, I figured, you know, like if this goes well, I might as well like put some effort into this. So I'm going to do some like Halloween-y themed ones. And what I've got here is some beads spelling out Batty and Spooky and Ghost, because I've got some of this Halloween confetti. This confetti was £1 in Wilko's. It's called Wilko's now. It was called Wilkinson's, and I do keep calling it Wilkinson's. So I'm going to use some of these ghosts and some of these bats to decorate the thing. But what I'm going to do first is put these letters in. So I've got some tweezers. They're very, very cheap tweezers. Not good ones. Just really cheap. Cheap. I need to put these in upside down. So that they are the correct way around when I take them out. As I said, this is the very first time I've ever done resin. This is something which is totally new to me. I'm a complete noob. I'm hoping things will work. If they don't, it was an experiment. We always learn something when we craft. We always learn a lesson. We learn from our mistakes. Like, I somehow still managed to put one of those letters the wrong way around. Right, so I've done that one. I'm going to do some of these ones. Batty. I'm going to have to stand up for this because for some reason I decided to do the front 3 cubes in this ice cube tray instead of spacing them out a bit, which would have been far more sensible. What I've also decided I'm going to do is, because when I was looking at the cactus, it looks like it's more or less full. So I'm not going to add any more to that. But when I mix up this batch of resin, I am going to do a different colour and see how that goes. I decided to use the cacti as colour testers for the food colouring. I did watch a couple of videos about adding colour to resin because I wasn't sure what I could get away with using, and I didn't want to buy really expensive, the stuff that you can buy to properly do this is very expensive. And I like to find the cheap way of doing things because I am a cheapskate, which I get from my mother because she is like the world's biggest cheapskate. I'm sure that show Extreme Cheapskates was made after somebody met my mother because, like, she's terrible, absolutely terrible. I needed a tablecloth once for a tombola that I was doing for a charity, and bearing in mind I got expenses for this, so it wasn't like it was coming out of my own pocket. And I said to my mother, "Come, Mum, can you pick up a cheap tablecloth for me? I'll get the money back. It's fine." And instead of getting like a decent cheap tablecloth, she bought a Halloween one that was covered in blood splatters because it was 50p cheaper. I was like, "Mum, I'm going to get the money back from it anyway." But she was convinced this was a better way of saving money. So we do the 2 parts A solution to the 1 part B solution. I've marked these because it was a little bit of a bugger cleaning them. You can see I've neglected to put my gloves back on because I'm lazy. So again, we're going to do the same amount. We're going to do 20 millilitres of the A solution. That's probably just over 20. But it's fine. We'll figure it out. And then we're going to do 10 milliliters of the B solution. Let's get all this out. What I'm hoping is this also will give me an indication of how far this stuff will go. And like in that bottle, it says it's 200 millilitres. So if I'm using 20 a time for part A, then in theory, I should get like 20 batches out of that bottle. But I'm going to have to try and see if I can get a cheaper set, because like £22 for the set was quite expensive. But my choices are limited from Hobbycraft, I'm afraid. Right, so that's the part A solution. So now we have the 10 millilitres of the part B solution. $10 milliliters. Oh, I've spilt a bit on the table. Oh, and it wasn't the bit covered in paper. Oh. Let's hope my mother doesn't notice that. That's only a drop, it'll be fine. Alright, so then B solution goes in. The B solution's very watery, the A solution's very thick. And in the instructions it says to do part B first, so I don't know if I'm doing this wrong by putting part A in first, but it's too late now, I've already started. So it's gone like sort of silvery, this wispy colour. And we've got to stir this until it goes completely clear. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put this solution into our moulds. I say our, you're not even involved in this, you're just watching this. This is the past. Then we're going to add the confetti, because I was wanting the confetti to be behind the letters, and I'm hoping that this is going to work as a technique. And then what we're going to do is we're going to leave this to cure again for another couple of hours, and then when that's done, like a couple of hours, and then I'm going to top off. That sounds rude. I'm gonna top it off with another little bit of solution. That's gone quite clear. It's very bubbly, but luckily, I mean, there's no actual air bubbles in the moulds. Not that I can see. I mean, there probably are. Right. Okay, so spooky ghost in the muffin. I think. Oh God, no, that was an error. That was definitely an error. Should not have done that. Oh dear. Right. Oh, I'm gonna risk it. Gonna risk it. Yep. 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 Gonna risk it. Now, I'm going to put that on there because it's got a drip. We're going to fill another cactus. And this time I'm going to use the blue. Again, I'm just going to use like 2 drops of the food colouring. Because we might as well test out this sort of food colouring method. And see if it is any good. Right. One, oh, that'll do. That'll be 2 drops. Okay. Let's mix this in. The green went orange, so I mean, God knows what's gonna happen here. That's weird. That's gone green. Weird, so very weird. Right, okay, let's flip another cactus. Whoops, I want my stirring stick. Oh, I'm managing to get 3 out of this. God knows what's going to happen here now. I must say, I highly recommend using a smooth plastic cup because it seems to come out very easily. Well, I filled 3 cacti. I just tried to throw my cup in the bin and it missed completely. I've thrown 3 cacti into this mould here with the blue food dye. So we're going to do an experiment. Clearly I need to let these other ones cure for longer, so we're not going to add any confetti to these yet, but the cacti are quite thick, so let's add some stuff to them. Spiders will work. You sometimes get like spiders in cacti, I assume, in the desert, maybe, I don't know. I'm British, we don't have cacti here, not naturally anyway. We import them from Mexico and Arizona and other places that cacti grow. So we've got some spider confetti. I'm probably best not doing this from my hand. Or I could dip them in by hand. Well, no, I couldn't. Look, static. Right. We'll just do. No, we'll do them all. Stuff it. We'll do them all. Let's use the cocktail stick and get these in here. So if this works, I'll be so happy, as I've always wanted to do something like this. It's going to be so much fun if this works. I'll be going out buying so many silicone moulds. This will just basically, if you know me, this is what you're going to be getting for Christmas. Silicone moulds. Actually, these are going in a lot easier than I thought they were going to, so I'm just unpredictable today. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just put the confetti in. Okay, let's put the confetti in the other ones, and then we'll leave it to cure. Some purple bats, some black bats, like the black bats, and the white bats. Bats, you're all right. I'm sorry, that was a terrible Mark Hamill impression. Right, okay, so baddies, go in, baddies. Go a little bat. Okay. Right, now spooky ghosts. Relax, spooky ghosts. Oops. Okay, there's a spooky ghost in one of the bats now. Because I am, phrase I love to use, I am cack-handed. Put this spooky ghosts. Come on, spooky ghosts. We need to separate you here because get another toothpick. Just use 2. We'll go crazy. Just use 2. Don't tell my mother. It's okay, I bought more toothpicks today and she'll never know. Well, she might if she looks in the cupboard and sees that I bought more toothpicks, but apart from that, she'll definitely never know, apart from looking in the cupboard. I'm talking nonsense here because trying to concentrate on doing this. It's not going very well. Come on. There we go. There we go. All right. There we go. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how that's turned out. Stick that little spooky ghost in a little bit more, but yeah, right. That's my spooky ghosts. That's my bats. So now I need to just go clean these pots again. And then, fingers crossed, I'll be back at this in a few hours to top up the solution, just to make the charms a bit thicker, but I don't think they're going to need that much. I think maybe one more, maybe. When should I add it? I did this after 2 hours. It's still very solution-y, so I'm probably best off doing it tonight. Right, okay, so I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm not going to film the next adding solution part because it's not going to be very interesting, and we'll see how that goes. So it's now been 5-6 hours since the initial pour. It's still very liquidy. This is the one in the muffin case, Spooky Ghost. Then we've got the Batty with the bats and the ghosts because some fell in. Then we've got Spooky and this Bat and Ghost. And then Batty, just bats. And then we've got the blue food dye spiders and the orange food dye nothing. So we've got a few empty cacti, and I'm thinking I'm going to mix up a little bit and test out the black and the orange. So that's what we're going to do. Welcome to a part of the set you have never seen before. I call this the edge of the set. This is the part of the set you normally never see because it's all the stuff from previous videos in a great big pile right next to the main set. Yeah, it's a mess. It is a messy set. The only tidy part is the set. It's not even that tidy. We don't recycle in my house because my mum won't throw anything away. She gets these pots from Lidl and Aldi that have like nuts and raisins and other gross stuff in it, and not nuts, I like nuts, but the raisins, ugh. Yeah, so she saves the pots in case they come in handy, so I end up using them for making jelly and insult light and crafting things as well. So I'm going to use one of these because it's all these in the cupboard rather than use another hard plastic cup. We're only going to make half the amount this time. Oh God. And then hope that it goes well. So this is going to involve some guesswork. I'm only going to use 10 millilitres of part A, which I've just realised I've done off camera entirely. Sorry, I was concentrating. I shall try not to do it in future. Right, so part A. I'm going to make sure we get all of this in. I'm really hoping I don't end up with too much, because that would be such a huge disaster. It's the third batch. So I have used approximately 50 millilitres of the part A solution So that is a total. So that's a quarter of the overall solution. In my zeal for reusing things, it did not occur to me that would be a rubbish thing to mix it in. Not until now. Right. 5 millilitres of this stuff. Try and do it on camera this time. No. No, I'm going to have to label this as adult content because I swore. I've been trying so hard not to swear. I've finally I've failed, but I used to work in radio, and I was always the first person to swear on air. I did it so many times. I did it on Christmas once. Got Twitter to swear out. This is why I'm on YouTube now. Right, we've nearly got all of the oh no, it's going everywhere. Oh dear. Right, that's more or less clear. So I'm going to try the orange. That's the yellow. I'm going to try the orange. And I'm going to try the black. And I'm going to do it in the same mix. Which is why I'm going to do it in that order. So I'm hoping the black will cover the orange, which I cannot open. Oh, there we go. Again, 75p Asda food dye. We're just going to put in 2 drops like we have before. Of course, it's always been different amounts, so I've probably made a boo-boo somewhere. We're going to mix this orange in. We mixed the green in, and it went orange. It looked red in the mixing cup, and that was in a yellow mixing cup. And then when I poured it, now it's in a green mould, it looks orange. And it's been quite a few hours. There's nothing in that one that is an empty mould. So this is the orange mixed in. It's very dark, very dark. Right, we're gonna put it in 2 of these. Concentrate. Don't spill it everywhere. Right, and we are going to put stuff in these as well, so I'm not filling it quite to the line. So even though I already used the orange, I'm going to use the black. I will not blame it if it doesn't go completely black, because I know that there is orange in it. I was the one who put the orange in. I genuinely want to see how just strong the black is. Is it dark enough to cover the orange? I mean, if it goes wrong, I'll test the black again. I think that was 3. Actually, well, I'm trying to cover the orange, so I'll put quite a bit in. That was probably a mistake. That should be my catchphrase. That should be a mistake. Yeah, so, yeah, that's what I thought would happen. So it's not gone black. It's gone sort of dark brown. But this was the point of the experiment. So in this dark one, I'm going to put some of the white spooky ghost confetti. Right, pour some in this one. We're going to use all of this up now. We are also going to put some, just whatever's left, in this one. Because it doesn't matter if it's very shallow. I just want to use all of it up. None goes to waste. Apart from all that stuff here, I dropped all over the table. And I'm sorry for the light situation right now. It is night time, and I normally film in the day. And yeah, I know I say that weird. Right, so that one has got a little bit in. Right, all I'm going to put in that one is one spooky ghost, which I cannot pick up. Here we go, just the one spooky ghost in that cactus. It's quite thick. Right, one spooky ghost. This other one, I'm going to do a couple of spooky ghosts. One. Two. Three. Oh yes, we dare to dream. Let's put the spooky ghost. And the spooky ghost. And then... oh no. I've lost the spooky ghost. Okay, I've just pushed them all the way down. Oh, good job. I stood up. I can see where this needs spreading to. This may not work. This may not have enough solution. We will see. Right, so in one of these orange cacti, I'm going to put orange pumpkin and a black spider. Push that in. And in the other one, spooky ghosts. One spooky ghost. Two spooky ghosts. And then we're just going to compare and see how these look, see what the difference is. I've decided I'm not going to add any more to the clear ones until tomorrow, when I will see how hard it is, and if the cubey ones have gone hard, I'm going to put some coloured stuff on. I forgot what it's called. Resin. Oh my god, this is the difference between daytime me and nighttime me. Nighttime me is stupid. Actually, I've had a thought. A thought occurs. Right, there might be a bit left in this. There's a tiny bit left. We are going to do it now. That's right. We've gone off script. It's not a scripted show, but that's what's happened. We've gone off book. We've gone rogue. I go rogue sometimes. This is sometimes what happens. Once I made my friend follow a fire engine through the town because I was really nosy and wanted to know where the fire was. It was a factory. No one was in it. It was a really, really old factory that had been abandoned for years. It wasn't very interesting, and we didn't impede the firemen. We just... it sounds so bad, that. We didn't actually follow the fire engine. We followed the sound of the fire engine, I should have said, actually, to be really clear about what happened. We followed the sound of the fire engine, not a physical fire engine. Please don't think I'm backpedaling. I literally have just remembered that part of the story and I feel really stupid. Okay, we're going to put some more black in here. Oh, we've definitely gone rogue. This might tell us as well, like, what our limits are on the food dye, how badly this affected. The point I was trying to make in that ill-advised story is that that sometimes I do things and I don't know why. I do them. This has got a very funny colour. I think I've put way too much food dye in it. Okay, right. I was going to put it on the back of one of the cubey ones, but I really like them, and I think this has gone hideously wrong, but I want to test it. So I'm going to put it on one of the spiders, on one of the blue cactus spiders. Oh no. This one looks like, oh no, this one. And we're going to see what happens. This might be something I live to regret in the morning. I'm going to check these at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I discover that my table's been melted. But that's a job for tomorrow, me. Speaking of tomorrow, this is where I sign off this part. And the next part will be part 2. Part 2 will be the unsiliconing. That's the word we're going to go with.